go. All right, so if you're just coming in, what we're going to do, we have people lined up starting at 5 o'clock for 2-minute interviews, and we're going to sort of rapid fire them through. It's going to be a grand experiment in possible chaos.
It's all Eric's idea if it fails.
And if it works, it's yours.
That's right.
But what we are going to do before we get started is some of the stuff that's just Tom and me and some general convention stuff, so we can get that on tape before the guests start cycling through.
Oh, and also Bart, so he'll be on.
And Bart, too.
And if Avery shows up, he can be on, but he's running out of time. What? No.
So we're going to do that. Of course, people are welcome to come in as we go, and we're going to...
Heckling is okay.
...see how things go here. Let me make sure that we are rolling and that the numbers are moving. I think they are. Are you ready to go?
What number is it?
I'll tell you.
Okay. Oh, you have notes?
Of course I do. Okay. I am a professional as a professional.
Wow.
All right, here we go. The Dice Tower, episode 180... No. The Dice Tower, episode 282.
Live from BGG.con. It's us.
Yay! And then the music comes up and we say, I'm going to do the intro. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to The Dice Tower, a podcast about board games and card games, but especially all these people who play them. I knew that was going to happen. This time we're live from BGG.con in Dallas, Texas for a cavalcade of 2-minute interviews and discussion. This episode is sponsored by Nothing Personal, a new mafia game of influence, blackmail, and betrayal by Thomas Vassell and Steve Avery, raising funds on Kickstarter now. I'm Eric Sommer, and here's your host. He reminds me of the Babe. What Babe? The Babe with the power. What power? The power of voodoo. Hoodoo. You do what? Remind me of the Babe. Tom Vassell.
All right, well, welcome to the show. We have a live audience, and we have lots of guests for you today, folks.
Don't pound the table.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with my hands. All right, so I'll sit on them. So anyhow, I can't. Anyhow, we're here today. We're talking about the Dice Tower. We're talking about BoardGameGeek.con, which is a convention in Dallas, Texas. It's held the week before Thanksgiving, and this is Eric and mine first time here. We're having a great time playing lots of games. Well, Eric is playing lots of games, and I'm talking to lots of people. So we have some guests. Bart?
The chief is here. It's nice to see everybody.
And he is the first of 34 possible guests. I am quite sure some of the guests I invited will not show up because they think it's Saturday or 6 o'clock or went to the wrong room.
Or maybe some will bring friends and we'll be in big trouble.
You never know.
Maybe they're mid-game.
All right, so both of you, what do you think of the show so far?
I think this is fantastic. I'm having a great
with administrators
time.
Watching us.
I know. there are 3 or 4 guys in Board Game Geek jerseys standing here with their arms folded like, you better like this.
Now, you guys, it's the first time you've both been here.
Yeah, but it's not your first
Right,
time.
I've been here before, not to this place. This is a brand new location, but I would say, number one, the open gaming area is awesome. The ceiling's high, the space is huge. They used to have the vendors right in with you. They would close down at a certain hour. So for me, perfect place to game, not too loud. The hot games room is bigger, yet packed all the time. I don't know about you guys, but there even used to be that little lonely game that people would play the first or second day, and then it's dead. I haven't even seen, I don't think too many of those. Everything seems to be getting played in there. I can't even get in a game of CO2 because there's people queued up waiting to jump in and play.
Yeah, the game that seems to be a big hit that I keep hearing about is called Terra Mystica, and I haven't had a chance to sit down at that one either because it's always being played. So I'm hoping to do that in the next couple of days. The Hot Games Room, of course, is where some of the newest releases, things that would probably be always out of the library, are just set up in a single room, and you just wait for your chance to play, sit down at an open slot, and the game just stays out. Stuff like Tzolk'in, the Mayan calendar game, Copycat, the new Freedom and Freeze game. I saw Spellbound out there. Keyflower is there. Space Cadets is there, and so you get to sit down. The crowd loves them some Space Cadets. A lot of Jeff Engelstein fans out there. And so, you can play these brand new releases, many of which have not been seen in any sort of public sense since Essen, which is really exciting to get to see these games. What's been your hit, Bart? What have you really been excited about?
I've been wanting to get in and play a little bit of Robinson Crusoe. I haven't been able to get in.
You won't get out.
Well, you're not a fan.
No, I love it, but you'll die.
Oh, okay. So it's a very hard cooperative game.
Yes, it is. It's really difficult, but it's fun. It's terrific.
I also played Goblins. Goblins is to me, a more interesting version of Galaxy Trucker. There's a little more going on. You're partnered up with somebody. It's still kind of random in terms of how your ship ends up, but you have a little bit more input, so that's been fun. I taught that today. That was good.
All right. One of the things I want to talk about was just how much I enjoyed the vendor room here. We go to Gen Con, and after a couple days, you have to lose weight to be able to move in there, and you're not allowed to turn around or you'll kill a little kid. And there's just so much going on. There's tons of people in the room, and it's great because it's there, but it's hard to talk to people. Here, it's busy, very busy, but it's also fun, and also it's very relevant. Every single booth has to do with board gaming.
Right. No bathtub fitter.
Yeah, I mean, we missed the foam weapons and the T-shirts that are going to be out of style in a year, but and the dead CCG land. But it's very focused, and it felt very cozy almost.
Well, the ceilings are lower. It's a carpeted room. It's almost like a ballroom. Not even a ballroom. It's smaller than that. It's like a meeting room, and so it doesn't feel like you're in this giant cavern. With the high ceilings and everything, it just feels a lot more cozy, like you're in somebody's living room, and you can have a conversation with your favorite publishers or designers just around the corner. It's really very nice.
And our sponsor, Fun Again, was there selling games, so you can go in and buy games from Essence. A lot of the games that had just come out, you could buy them. That was pretty neat. So that room's always busy, always full, lots of things going on. But then again, you can go out and play games, dexterity games. You can't stop, And since we're talking announcements here, tonight at 10 o'clock, this doesn't matter for those of you listening, it's too late, haha.
Sorry.
But tonight at 10 o'clock, come by the staircase, and we're playing Flower Fall Epic, where we will drop the cards off the balcony onto the floor.
And disrupt traffic for everyone.
But you will be crowned the Flower Cup. No, you get the Flower Cup. No, Flower Fall Cup. Something. You get a copy of the game. Hooray! From the company. So anyway, if nothing else, come watch it because it's stupid as all get out, but that's what conventions are. All right, before we kick you off, Bart, you have anything you want to say? You have way more than 2 minutes, so you're lucky.
Yeah, I did. I've got plenty of time. Everything's great. It's nice to see you guys here. Good to meet Eric for the first time. Like I said to some people when we were setting up, I've heard him often, but I've never met him in person. So it's good to meet you. So thank you guys, and thanks to everybody here that listens. And there's been a lot of nice people that have come up to me. I've seen many come up to Tom, and it's nice to talk to people.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. All right. Here, folks, is what we're doing. For those you can't see, we are having people come on the show for 2-minute intervals. We're going to go by my watch, which is currently probably not in time. And these people can talk for 2 minutes, and after that, Bart will be our bouncer. He will physically remove them, and we're actually hoping some of them resist, because I want to see what might happen.
We want to see the training of the Wichita Police Department
now,
in force.
If somebody doesn't show up for their allotted time, then maybe we'll invite someone to come run up here quick and sit down.
You thought you were safe out there, didn't you?
These people are just ordinary folk, but some of them are game designers, some of them are game publishers, some of them are just really loud gamers. Some of them, I guess that's all I got. Some of them said they had to be on the show. So, okay. So what we'll do is we will start that at 5 o'clock. It's 4:56. We got 4 minutes.
Well, I have something to talk about for 4 minutes.
All right, go ahead.
I just got out of the wackiest game of Cosmic Encounter I have ever experienced. I played on the Eon set.
Without me.
Yes, you were busy promoting some game of yours.
Yeah, that's true.
I got suckered in. I was wandering the hall and just sort of looking around at people, and I started, eyeing Smash Up, going, maybe I should go sit down there and play that. I haven't done that yet. And someone comes over to me and says, "Hello, Eric. Would you like to play Cosmic Encounter?" And I couldn't come up with a good excuse not to. So I ended up in this game with the original Eon set, all of the expansions. So a gorgeously well taken care of copy of this game, of the original edition. with someone who really loved it and was excited to teach it, and sitting there with 6 people. And I got to play once.
Did you play with Lucre?
We did play with Lucre.
And Moons?
And Moons.
Oh, well.
We played with Lucre and
It's like
Moons.
throwing someone in the deep end.
Yes, 3 Moons each. So each player had 3 Moons in their system, and I got to play one time. I attacked myself twice, because that's what the Destiny deck told me to do. I attacked my own Moons, and both Moons, one Moon killed all of my ships, and the other Moon caused everyone's hands to pass to the person to their right, and then my turn was over, and then someone else won. But, actually, the way it worked is that everyone but one person won, except then somebody said, no, I win if I win a final challenge. And then somebody else said, well, before you do that challenge, I'm going to challenge over here. And then somebody else said, well, I take your card and I challenge you before that challenge. I was not involved in any of these challenges. So I sat back and I watched, and someone won. It was not me, but it might have been.
For those of you listening, Moons add a bit. Cosmic Encounter is already a crazy game. Moons add insanity to that.
Cosmic Flux.
If there's a reason Fantasy Flight has not added them back in their mix, because it's, I don't know. I would guess that drinking would result in the same thing as Moons do. I mean, so, but I'm
That
glad
might have helped, actually.
Oh wait, did you like it? Okay, moving on.
I had fun.
Oh,
I enjoyed
that's the same
sitting
thing.
there and
No, it's not
watching
really.
what happened.
All right. Okay, so that was only 2 minutes, but that's fine. Okay, if you're here and you're supposed to be speaking, you're supposed to come up here as soon as... Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually give our first guest an extra minute, maybe, so just to get time in.
That's not fair.
When they come on, they get to say their name and anything else about them, but you need to say your name so we know who you are and so that we don't mispronounce it, as we rarely mispronounce things on the show. But occasionally... Our research doesn't turn up the proper names and such. But we're going to go way back to episode 1. And the reason
Let's
why...
start over. I was just changing the our first guest. I was fixing something.
Okay. If we go way back to episode 1, so we'll start with the first guest. This is why the Dice Tower exists. When I first wanted to put the Dice Tower in the air, I said I want to do a podcast. Board Game Geek can do one. They said anybody can do it. We're anybody. And so I said, where can I put the thing up? So we put it up at Board Game News. So I emailed Rick Thornquist, and I offered him lots of money. But anyway, first guest, and your name, sir, is?
Ted Alspach. I'm the designer of the new game Suburbia, a million Age of Steam maps, and the crappy game Seismic. But we don't remember that one. Okay, Seismic's a pretty good game. No, actually, I'm Rick Thornquist.
Yeah, no one does remember Seismic. All right, but so
Ted Alspach has just walked out of the room.
okay, so Rick, what do you want? Talk about the convention.
I'll talk about the convention. Probably the thing I should talk about the convention you guys have mentioned is the Hot Games Room, because the guys who are running this have manacled me to a table in the Hot Games Room for the last 2 days, teaching games, and that's sort of my venue. So me and a bunch of other people have helped me set up all the games in that room, and we sort of decided the games that we thought people would like. There was a poll on BGG, the games that people wanted to play, and we went through that and a couple of other things and decided which ones we wanted to put out. And ever since we opened up at 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning, it's been mayhem in there. There's almost all the tables have been busy all the time. I've been teaching games almost nonstop. I think on my list I've taught 34 games so far, and it's been great. People have been having a great time, and now it's getting to the point where a lot of people have learned the games. They're starting to teach each other. So it's been wonderful. The Hot Games Room is a great place.
So it's a good thing because your voice is running out. What's the hottest game?
I'd say the hottest game is Zolkin. I mean, has anybody played Zolkin in here? Yeah. Zolkin is getting a lot of play. There's a lot of people that really like it. There are a couple of other games. Suburbia is getting a lot of play. Terra Mystica is getting a lot of play, and CO2 is getting a lot of play. Almost all the games are getting play, but I think those 4 are the ones that are probably getting played the most.
All right. Well, what's the least hot game?
There are a couple of those are the ones that I mentioned, the ones we set up the most copies. There was a lot of games we sort of set up 1 copy towards the back of the room. The one that surprised me the most was Al Rashid, because we got a lot of requests to put that in, but it hasn't really been played that much, and I'm not quite sure why. So maybe the graphic design is not that great, but yeah, that one is still a pretty good game, but not many people have been playing it.
All right. You got 20 seconds. Anything else to say about the show?
I'd just like to say, the people who organize Board Game Geek Con, I mean, I've been working with them over the past few days, helping move the library and stuff like this. These guys do a tremendous amount of work, and I mean, I've been to a lot of cons, and I think these guys have done an amazing job putting together a show that's incredibly run. And I think that's something that everybody should appreciate, because they've done such a good job.
Good, thanks. All right. Is Bill Abner here? I don't see him. Bill Abner? Oh, our first no-show. Well, we're going to jump up and let Ted Alspach respond to...
All right, we're going to talk at least 2 minutes about Seismic, and then we'll go on to the scheduled 2 minutes, right?
No. This is your scheduled 2 minutes, so go. And your name is and why?
All right, so I'm Ted Alspach. Well, we don't need to talk about Seismic, but it's a very good two-player game.
I gave it a good review, I think.
I don't remember.
I don't remember the game, but go on.
Yeah, so anyway, what I did want to talk about is, so everyone knows that Tom does video reviews. You guys like his video reviews, right? And as a game designer, whenever you put a game out there in the wild, it's kind of like setting your children free, and you're hoping that people like them and take care of them and nurture them and they can grow into something else. But what Tom does for every game on his video reviews is unceremoniously dumps those games onto the floor or a table or some other place. I'm sure he's lost a lot of bits in the process. I'm sure a lot of pieces have been damaged. And yet, very few people have raised their voices about this. I see occasional thread on Board Game Geek about people, they're disgusted and hurt, and they're shocked that you do this sort of thing. But there's no petitions. There's no people that are asking you to just cease and desist. So I'd like to understand why it is that you continue to abuse games in this fashion.
You know why I do it? Because it's fun. It's fun. I have no other reason. It is so much work. I have to put up a barrier around the table. I drop it. I say, kids, you got your chores for the day. And they're like, ah! And it takes up almost half the time of the whole video to do that. But it's fun. So, and I love people's reaction. Bill, you're next. And so you have 5 seconds. Say something.
5 seconds. I am very glad. I'm actually meeting Eric in person for the first time.
Hello.
Which is much more exciting than meeting Tom
Done.
in person.
All right.
But he was...
All right, Bill, come on, hurry.
He was talking about me now.
All right, state your name for the record.
I'm late, sorry.
Nope, fine.
Bill Abner, I'm director of Conquistador Games.
Well, tell us a little bit about that. Most people here probably don't know the name of the company.
Sure, Conquistador Games have been around for about 8 months. Our first game was Road to Enlightenment, shipped back in June via Kickstarter. And our second game is out in about 5 weeks. It's the New Science, which Tom was so kind to preview for us.
It's a good game.
Thank you. And I've been demoing it all day, so if my voice starts to go, I apologize.
It's okay. You only got like a minute 20 left.
Okay, great.
Half the show is us talking about the time on the show. Go ahead.
The New Science, is a worker placement game. It's the 17th century scientific revolution. You're playing one of the 5 major scientists of the period, Leibniz, Galileo, Newton, Kircher, and Kepler. And it's basically a worker placement game to where you're racing up a technology tree in 5 major fields of study. And it's a real cutthroat game. There's a lot of variety in it. There are happening cards that can change the flow of the game. There are failed experiments. There are dealing with the church. There's a lot of stuff going on. And we are thrilled with it. The reaction has been fantastic. And Tom's preview helped out a lot. So we're just very thankful that things are going well. And we did a Kickstarter on it that raised about $45,000. So we broke about even. Now we're just kind of selling extra copies, and we're ready to go.
So you're going to do more games from the future?
More games from the future?
Well, that would work.
More games from the future, yes. Our next game was actually a game called Tomorrow, which is about... I didn't make that up. It's true. Which is actually a very different theme for us, because our first game, Road to Enlightenment, was about 17th century geopolitical. But this is a game about... it's actually a very different theme for us. It's about depopulating the Earth, to where Earth population becomes so much that you have
time's
to
up.
start...
All right, next. I'm serious. Okay.
You don't have to push them.
I have more fun doing that.
You
All
don't
right.
need physical violence.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Howdy, my name's Brent Lloyd.
Why should people know you?
People should know me. I run a convention up in Canada. It's called FallCon. It's board gaming and miniatures. It appeals to all kinds of families and communities. We have a core mission statement that states we believe that board gaming brings in stronger families, stronger communities, and that's what we do.
All right. Well, you still got a lot of time left. What else do you want to talk about?
Okay. Well, I run it with a couple other people. I'd like to mention Jason Robillard, Steve Zanini, and Tim O'Connor, and the four of us kind of run it. I also run the Canadian Game Design Award, and that runs every year. We're in our third year in that, or fourth year now in that. And Canadian game designers send in their prototypes and stuff. We evaluate them, and we nominate a winner, of course. We announce it at our convention. It's in fall in Calgary, in Canada. So it's a little far for some of you folks to go, but we're in our 26th year in our convention. It's a great time, and you're all welcome to come on out.
What's the hardest part about running a convention?
The organization, actually. Actually, probably the hardest thing for me is not playing games, because I spend more of my time organizing than actually playing. But it's good. We have hosted events. We actually have, it's much like the hot games room here. We actually have ambassadors that help us out. They come, they moderate the games. So you can come into our convention, totally cold, sit down, we'll teach you the game. We'll have somebody, one of our ambassadors, teach you the game, go through all the rules, and then you can just play the game.
Your website for the convention?
www.fallcon.com. That's FALLCON.com.
And that's it. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right. Randall's next. It's Randall here. Yes, sir. All right. Hurry. Okay, while he's coming, we're having lots of fun. Lots of people here, about 2,000 people listening. All right.
I'm Randall Rasmason. I'm a regular dude. My only gamer cred is I made videos for Ryan Sturm's How to Play podcast.
That's right.
So,
Wow.
I'm glad that somebody actually saw them. I didn't know anybody was actually looking at them. So.
Are you the puppet guy?
I am the puppet guy, yeah.
Wow. It's good to meet you.
Okay, anyway, but really I'm here representing the old dudes that show up and play, and representing the older games, because if you've noticed, there's a lot of games in that library, and everybody's interested in the hot new stuff. There's a lot of really great older games in there. I spent 5 hours playing Junta yesterday and had one of the greatest games ever.
Well, what do you think of the new Junta, the smaller, streamlined, better version?
I think I think I might disagree with you on this one a little bit. The pieces are better, of course. The glasses are cool. I own it. But you lose a little flavor from the original, I think.
All right.
All the fiddly little rules.
Did you play any new games here?
Have I played any new games? I actually have not played any new games. I played Battlestar. I played Parcheesi till 3 a.m. last night.
That's brand new.
Well,
that's brand new. You know, that's only been out 1,000 years.
Well, that's one of the things I like about conventions is people play anything. I think there's some horrible games, and I'll see someone playing it, and I'll say, "Well, what do you know?"
Yeah, exactly. But as the old dude, I thought maybe I better represent the older games because they need the love too.
They do.
Good.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to Ryan more than anyone else.
He's a great guy. Whatever you think about him on the podcast, he's really a great guy.
He really is. He really is. We'll cut that out.
No, we won't.
All right.
Hello, Ryan.
All right. Next is Josh Adelson.
Yeah, that's wrong.
All right, sir. State your real name for the record.
Josh Adelson.
No, the real one.
Mr. Cranky.
There we go.
Knew that's what he meant.
It is. All right, you've been coming to this convention for what, the past 20, 30 years?
I have come to this convention since before it began. I actually went to Dallas 30 years ago and ate at El Fenice, the original in downtown. Okay, whatever. No, I've come, this is my third year. They're not consecutive. I missed the first, I came for the second and the fourth in this one or something.
Okay, well,
But
anyway.
Tom, ask me questions.
I will ask you
Fill
questions.
the,
Compare this
extra
to
minute.
Origins, which used to be your stomping grounds.
Yes, I used to live in Columbus. Origins, not as exciting as hanging out in the lobby of the Gathering of Friends, trying to get invited to that. I did that one year. Let's see. At Origins, I have to say, Origins wins over BGG.con. I mean, yeah, I get it. We do a lot of work. But Origins has Chainmail Girl, and has had for 20 years. Chainmail Girl. Walking around from Flying Buffalo, shaking her chainmail in a
Family-friendly podcast.
manner. Yes, exactly. Okay. No, Chainmail Girl is my good friend. I had no idea she is. Okay, what next?
All right, what game? Give us a good game to play.
Well, I would definitely recommend playing Myrmis with me. As you know, as both of you know, my job as a myrmecologist is probably not going to pan out. Right?
Yeah, what were the scores in that game?
Shush.
Well, I know I won.
That's true.
That's true.
Cheated.
I beat Tom.
It was like 25 to 22 to 19 to what?
I think I actually, thanks to Colin, who's not here, for playing that final bonus that gave me
he's
3
there.
points. Oh, all right, there he is. Thanks, Colin. 2 points.
2 points.
You were at -1 until that last bonus.
Yes, until
Yep.
somebody saved my Little Mermaid. Oh, sorry.
Cut. All right.
Is it over now?
Yeah, you lose 5 seconds. You're out. All right, next. Chris. Oh, Chris is coming. While he's coming, we'd like to thank him for the Flower Fall Champion.
Well, let me get you back. So I'm Chris Eslick, and I run Asmati Games. And poor Tom here flubbed the name of our tournament, which is quite difficult, so it's acceptable. It is the 2012 Flower Fall Invitational Pro-Am World Championship, sponsored by the Dice Tower, known as the Conrad Gessner Cup.
You just took up all your time with that name.
I know. So we'll be awarding this lovely copy of Flower Fall to the champion. Oh, yes. And the cup, which I have to make sometime in the next 4 hours.
But people are really here to hear about innovation. Tell us about the newest expansions.
Yes, so Innovation's second expansion, called Figures in the Sand, which features 105 people from history, will be coming out in the next couple of months. And we've also got a super-duper early sneak preview of the next expansion coming out later next year, which involves 105 cities. And I've got that available for playtest. Anybody who finds me and is willing to endure terrible first play of Innovation expansion.
Now that you sold me.
I know.
These publishers, they're so good at this. Now, when are we going to see an expansion to Win, Lose, or Banana?
Well, the Cake expansion was quite popular.
Oh, that's true. There was one.
And there was a Game Over expansion for PAX this year. But we're looking at a broader strategy for that game. See if we can really liven up with 20, 30, 40 packs of cards.
And what about what about that innovative, I forget the name of the game with the iPad and all that stuff going on?
Fealty?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yes. Fealty,
Yes, Tom,
Fealty is...
I said that. Okay.
Right, yeah, with the innovative. Fealty got released for iPad this spring. The board game version is up for Abstract of the Year at the BGG Awards tomorrow night, so hopefully everybody forgot what Kingdom Builder is and we'll win.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, next is Stefan. We're always glad that publishers of small companies show up. And your name, sir, is?
Stefan Brunell, Asmati Edition.
All right. So what are you doing here?
Actually, I'm really glad to be here just because it's one of the only convention I can play games with people, actually. Usually, like Gen.con, SN, or Origins, I don't play games. So next step, maybe it will be in Florida. Who knows? If
That's
I get
right.
invited.
We invited you. Well, let me ask you this: Asmodee seemingly has had just winner after winner after winner games. There are some companies that do great games and then duds, but your games have just really been amazingly received, from Seasons to Libertalia. Just these Archipelago has been seeming. Who is picking the games? They're doing a great job. Is it you?
No, not me only, but there's a lot of people working at the company in Europe, in North America, of course, and there's a lot of small companies that are working really hard, and they publish their own games, like Régis Bonessé that did Seasons. It's actually the owner of Libellude, who's published Dixit. The Rapaz production, we work with wonderful guys like Thomas and Cedric, who get Seven Wonders, Ghost Stories, now the new City of Horror. So,
Is there another expansion coming out for Seven Wonders?
I believe there's one at least for sure for Gen.con 2013. And I believe there's 3 more maybe after.
Oh, so, all right.
It was not a rumor. It was not a rumor about he was working on 7 expansion for Seven Wonders.
All right. Well, there we go. So will you play with all 7 at the same time?
I don't know. It's all in the brain of Antoine right now. There's 2 actually he's working on. And all the rest, it's all in the head of Antoine.
Good enough. You're done. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Next. Jesse Game. All right, our next person here is well known for his critiques of board games, and you are?
My name is Jesse Dean. I write for a blog on Board Game Geek called On Gamers Games, and also produce various reviews.
All right, well, tell us a little bit. Jesse is real big onto he's the opposite end of the spectrum from me sometimes, although we agree on some games.
Yeah.
Tell us about some great games that you've seen here.
I've actually been really impressed on the overall quality of the games that I've played this year. Like most years, there's a few games that really stand out to me as great. And, most of them are, they're okay, but, they don't really grab me. But with maybe one exception, every single new game I've played this year has been pretty good.
Well, give us some examples for people who are listening.
Well, probably the best one that I've played that's been new, and this should become to no surprise to most people who are paying attention to the new games that I've invested in, is Terra Mystica. It is a really fantastic civilization game. Lots of different special player powers. I've been encouraging Tom a lot to try it out because it's right up his alley. And it's just a very good, very deep, very heavy sort of game. This morning I actually played the game that you just were talking about with Stefan Archipelago. There's a few things in it that I was a little skeptical about, but just the sheer quality and the variety of the game really caused it to win me over.
Now, you said most of the games you played are great. Have you played a game that you thought was going to be good and it was not?
Dominaire from AEG. I read through the rules, and it looked like. There's a lot of interesting things about it. There was a lot of things that I read of that could be very cool. Unfortunately, it wasn't implemented quite to my tastes, and we had a good time playing it, but it was not because of the game.
And where can people read about you on Board Game Geek again?
It's in the blog section on Gamers Games. If you just look at the hot blogs list, I'm always on there.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Pope. All right, let's talk about some really good games now.
Like we haven't already?
That's right, but now we're on my side.
Oh, I see.
Tell us who you are and why you're here.
I'm Brian Pope. I'm the designer of Mage Wars, and I'm here because I live in Dallas, and it's a great show, and we're doing demos for 5 days.
Sweet.
All of our fans.
So how's it going, the convention for you? What do you think?
Great, fantastic.
Best of the year, right?
Actually, the best trade show I've ever been to was Dice Tower Con. This is pretty good.
You really don't have to butter them up that much.
No, actually, it was great because we actually got to sit down and play games, so that was cool.
So a lot of people playing the game here. Tell us a little bit about what we might see from Mage Wars in the future.
Okay, we're finishing up the Force Master versus Warlord, which is our first big expansion. We're really excited about it. 2 new mages, 2 new styles of play, 220 new spells to add to the set, so you can mix and match with the other 4 mages we give you in the base set. We also have some spellbook packs we're coming out with some beautiful artwork, a 4-player expansion pack, so you can take your Mage Wars set and expand it with additional colored markers, things like that. And we have a Druid versus Necromancer coming out a few months beyond that.
All right, now, I'm assuming that's not the only game you play, although it looks like it. What other games have you played that you like?
Wow, boy. I just recently played the Seasons game. I love that. That was great. Libertalia was fantastic. You made me get back out my Cosmic Encounter after I saw that you rated it number 1, so I was thinking that's I got to try that again. That's been a very good game.
It is.
So you say.
And I just picked up Risk Legacy, so I'm excited about trying that.
Oh, in that part where I can't tell you anything about it.
Uh-oh.
But
I just popped the case. So.
I've opened everything in Risk Legacy now. It's fantastic. I will throw a game to open something in it. That will make you lose. I don't care. We get to open another pack. 5 seconds.
Okay, well, great. Well, guys, thanks for all the support and everything. We're doing fantastic, and I really appreciate it. We're excited going forward to 2013.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Flip. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Flip Florea. I'm one of the panelists on the podcast Flip the Table that takes a look at the other side of board gaming. Proud member of the Dice Tower Network, as a matter of fact.
So the podcast is named after you, right?
Actually, it's not. I was named Flip before the podcast came up. But, yeah, we try to look at the other spectrum of board games. Everybody talks about the new hotness, all the cool stuff. We play the dogs. We play the stuff that nobody ever wants to play, but you just might be a little bit curious about.
Now, you're up to the 9th or 10th episode right now, right?
We just released our 15th episode, actually.
Yes, I listened.
Shows how much you're paying attention.
So of those 15 episodes, have any of those games actually you've that was not bad at all?
We did a arcade spectacular where we played a Pac-Man Math. We played Turtles, the board game. Not the Mutant Turtles, just Turtles. Based on the famous Konami game nobody ever heard of. But we played a Donkey Kong card game from 85, which was actually surprisingly cute and fun. But I think that's the only gem we've managed to find.
Not Mall Madness?
No, we haven't attacked Mall Madness. That's in a future episode. And Heartthrob has been the sleeper hit, though. I can tell you that right now. And I think I'm going to try to wrangle you guys into a game of that if I can.
We will play Zombie Heartthrob.
We could try that.
That's on Kickstarter next week.
Now, you have a worst episode of the year episode that you're working on.
Yes.
Can you give us any clues, any possibilities?
Well, we have we're recording our Year of the End coming up, and we're going to pick the one worst game we've played so far. And I'm going to tell you, I think it's one of the ones we've actually played so far.
Phase 10. Phase 10.
No, Phase 10, we haven't played that.
You have 5 seconds.
But yeah, so anyway, check us out, tableflipsu.com. We're also on iTunes, and got to say, the library here is fantastic. It's got bad games as well as great games.
Ah, yeah, that's good. John, you're next. All right. Well, this is John. State your name for the record, and then tell us what you do.
I'm John Erby. I'm from South Carolina, and I'm a 29-year member of the Association of Game and Puzzle Collectors. And I write for the Quarterly, and I've been writing for 6 years. And the organization originally started collecting very, very antique and rare games, and the wealthy members bought them all, and there were no more to collect, so we had to move on. And I've been encouraging them to consider new games, modern games. And it took a while, but now at the conventions we have at least 2 or 3 hours from 11 till 2 o'clock in the morning when these stodgy old game collectors sit down and play the good ones.
So tell us a little bit about this magazine. I haven't heard of it before you showed it to me.
Well, it's been in publication for 29 years, and the organization caters to both puzzlers as well as gamers and all sorts of side effects. But we address almost every area of the game university, including the puzzles. And what I try to do is write a short little introduction to games so that these old-fashioned collectors can read it and get a hook and say, yes, I'd like to play that.
Yeah.
What's been your big game that you've been trying to push lately with this crowd?
Well, there's not ever a single one because it's a broad field. Just this last issue, I wrote about games based on animals because I use a theme at every opportunity. And there were so many wonderful games to talk about having to do with animals. In the first edition, I only got from African to foxes. The next edition will go from G to Z. And it's a good way to get people to read something simple and short about games and then be interested. When I go to the convention, many of the people will come up and say, when the magazine comes out, yours is the first column I read.
How do we find the magazine?
Well, you can become a member easily or be in touch through www.agpc.org.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is anyone here from Cool Minis? Cool Minis? No.
I played Zombicide.
All right. Well, Joshua, are you here? All right. Then we'll let you jump up ahead.
It's a gift.
All right.
A new release. You will like this more than Eric will. Just knowing the type of game.
Okay.
Well, say your name
because Eric and I have very similar styles, and I will never give up my copy of Merchant of Venus ever. Either.
Excellent.
Original, well-loved.
I knew I liked you.
Well, tell us your name and what you do.
Joshua Godman. I'm the business manager for Victory Point Games.
In boxes?
In boxes now, with laser-cut components and triple-thick counters. This is our first year here, and we are getting many people who said, we've never heard of you before, which is, quite frankly, exactly why we're here, because we want to get a greater exposure to people. We, of course, we're biased, but we believe we have a lot of good quality games there, most of them smaller that can play anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, some less. We have war games, kids games, Euro games. This Skagway is, I think, our first worker placement game, and Con's been wonderful. My voice is going because of all the demos I'm doing, but it's been great exposure for us.
So of all your games, what has been the most popular of them?
Darkest Night is getting a lot of looks. I know it keeps getting checked out of the library. It's in 1 to 4 player fantasy co-op. There's actually optional rules up to 6, where you have the heroes trying to prevent the evil necromancer from completing his takeover of the land. And it's challenging. The characters feel very different. There's 9 different character classes you can play. Plays in about 2 hours. Some have compared it favorably to Arkham Horror, except that you played in 2 hours instead of a day and a half.
All right. A day and a half. That's only a day. All right. Well, thank you so much. He's right inside the front door of the hall if you want to see him.
Booth 104 for those of you who are here.
All right. Appreciate it, sir. All right. Is there anyone here who I told that they were on at 5:26 and Oh, that was you. That's right. I meant 5:24 or 5:28. Is there anyone? Cool minis or not? You're still here? No? Okay. If someone comes up and sits right here, you can talk for a minute.
You can ask him anything.
All right, come on.
Uh-oh. See, this is dangerous to offer this.
All right, what's your name, sir?
My name's Eric Devy. I have a little podcast called On Board Games.
Excellent. How are you, sir?
It's an Eric sandwich.
Well, I was excited to meet Eric.
We haven't actually met until this very moment, however.
And you have a pretty good crowd here. I'm sorry it wasn't as big as ours last year when we recorded our show. We had a guy, his wife, and then in the middle of it, the guy came in to fill the water tank in the back. So there's sounds like someone's using the bathroom in the middle of it. So I'm sorry you don't get to have that experience.
Well, we can hear planes flying over periodically. I'm listening on the headphones.
That's right. We're right in the
That's what that
here.
sound is when you guys hear it as you go by.
No, you got more time.
I just wanted to meet Eric. What else is there?
Quick sign-in autograph. Eric doesn't sign them. He says them. He records them as an MP3 and you get it, right?
Yes, there you go.
Absolutely.
Did you want to come up?
Okay.
All right.
That's it. Thank you very much.
All right.
And listen to On Board Games.
That's right.
A proud member of the Dice Tower.
There you go.
All right. We're slightly out of schedule, Todd, and it's going to take you like a minute to get up here, so you're next. So I know it's 5:30, but we'll get to that in a second. Meanwhile, we got a minute to talk about anything we want. You know what? It's really good to meet a lot of the podcasts in our network here. That is cool.
Absolutely. You haven't played many games, but what have you played here that you've enjoyed?
The Ants game, Mirmez, I really like that a lot. I've enjoyed that. The Key Flower. Sorry, it gets confusing. That was a lot of fun. And Cash and Guns, we played a 9-player Cash and Guns games where 7 people died. And Eric
I almost died in the end.
I wished. But no, I wanted to play a Cash and Guns game where everybody died. That would have been, but it was great anyway. Great game. Okay, next person is you.
It is me. I'm Todd from AEG, and how are you?
I'm fantastic. Tell us
what am I supposed to talk about?
Oh, yeah. He has no new games. How many have you released? Like 7 this month?
Oh, gosh. Something like that. 5 since Essen, yeah. 5 at Essen. We had the 4 Tempest games that came out, Dominari, Mercante, Courtier, and Love Letter, and Guildhall that I just got finished playing and could hardly remember the name of. But we've been doing really well.
It seems like Love Letter has really been just doing really well. We got to play this at a Steak and Shake.
At a Steak and Shake, yes.
Steak and Shake, we played it.
I remember that. Yeah, it's done really well. It sold out at Essen in like a day and a half, and it sold out here in a day and a half. It's just, we've been really, really excited about Love Letter for such a little tiny game, 16 cards.
But it comes in that nice velvet pouch.
Oh,
I think that's really the draw.
I know it's the velvet.
Everyone loves velvet.
Yeah, it's not the game, it's just the velvet.
As a quick aside, we'll let you speak in a minute. If you're going to be in our show, it's better if you're near the front so you can get in line, or you lose your time, not ours. All right, continue.
I was in the back, but anyway.
Well, I mention that for maybe if someone is in the back. All right.
But no, we've been having a great show. Everybody's been having a lot of fun, and we're just glad we're here with you guys. Because Tom's the best, everybody.
Okay.
That's one.
Round of applause for Tom.
I'm keeping a tally. Yeah, I've gotten about 3 words of praise, and you get 1.
All right.
So,
all right. Well, thank you very much.
That was all I had to say.
Okay. Well, then we'll move on to our next person. Patrick, you let you in early. That's a mistake. All right, Patrick's on the show, by the way. You can watch. Is the Boardroom still a show? I haven't seen like an episode in a month.
Yes, we just had an episode last night. But since I'm here, I was not on it.
What's it about?
So it wasn't a good episode.
I was going to say, I'm going to go watch that one.
Just kidding. Actually, ironically enough, I think last night's episode was about, is Board Game Geek ruining the hobby?
Oh, that's a popular topic.
Very relevant. But I think we were talking a lot about trolls, perhaps.
They're not
like in games, in fantasy games?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those kind of trolls, orcs, all kinds.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, you're using up your shilling time. Go ahead.
I'm using up my time. So I'm here to talk about the upcoming game from Tori Neiman, the designer of Alien Frontiers. Crash Games will be publishing his game called Pay Dirt. It is a modern-day gold mining game set in the vast tundra of Alaska. So players are taking on the role of a modern prospecting outfit. If you've ever seen the Gold Rush television show on Discovery Channel, please don't sue me. It is based upon that. That was the inspiration behind it. So you're taking your workers, various pieces of equipment, gear, and managing that throughout your turns before the ground reaches an undiggable temperature of 0 degrees Celsius.
You say that with such passion. That was
very
fantastic.
exciting. Have you dug in 0 degrees Celsius?
No.
Yes.
It's hard work.
Yes.
It's cold. So it's a very fun game. I'm horribly biased, but a great game of trying to get the most gold possible. But it's tricky because you've got to sell some of that to improve your worker situation and your equipment. So I
Good
really
job.
love
Thank
that.
you, sir. All right,
All right.
next person is the Cool Minis or Not guy here? No, okay, I'm not saying it no
It's
more.
a running gag at this
Michael,
point.
you're on. All right, Michael, tell us about your game.
Hi there, I'm Michael Keller, and I'm the designer of City Hall. It's a game about running for mayor of New York during the Great Depression, and it's a game where that has city building, but focuses on the trading of political favors between people as they try to manipulate the bureaucracy that will grow the city.
Now, I haven't played the game. There's like viciousness because of the politicalness that's going on? What kind of game would you describe it as? Like a worker placement or deck building?
So it combines worker placement with auction mechanics.
Okay.
And the viciousness can appear in two ways, either with the city building, where you can plop a dirty factory down to someone's house and devalue it. Or you can just refuse to accept their bids when they try to take control of something and deny them the things that they need.
All right. Well, how's it been going here? What do you think about displaying your game here at the convention?
Well, this is our last appearance at the end of a very long convention season, and I must say this convention has it's been great. I've never been to BGG.con before, but the staff has done a tremendous job in helping us, and the people here who have been very, very friendly, very open, and it's been a great time.
All right. Well, we got 30 seconds. What else would you like? Have you played any games you like?
I haven't had a chance to play any games, but with the last 30 seconds, I want to say for any designers out there who you should go look at unpub.net. It's an organized playtesting program that'll help get your game in front of people other than your friends and family, and it's very worth it. So go check it out.
Unpub.net.
Yes.
Great.
All right.
Thank
you, sir. All right. Mr. Lang, are you around? There you are. Eric Lang is most known for Senator, I believe.
Senator, yes.
That's my favorite
And
game.
Dilbert.
And Dilbert. Oh, you did Dilbert.
Dilbert, the corporate shuffle. That's
All right.
Excellent.
Well, I've seen that at a Barnes & Noble, or no, in the mall, the little one.
I saw it in a used bin somewhere.
So what's up? What do you think of the convention? What hot new game are you designing?
So what I think about the convention is awesome. I mean, it was a lot more than I was expecting. I was expecting a cool gaming con. I wasn't expecting like a mini Origins, which is what this turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Very well run, better run than Origins.
My house. My house, when all the girls are screaming at the same time, is better run than Origins.
Well,
Continue.
that's a true fact.
Wow.
It's awesome. I wish I had more time to play more games, but I guess I'll do that in the next couple days. So exciting stuff I'm working on. I just finished the Star Wars game for Star Wars Living Card game for Fantasy Flight that's coming out in a month. Really excited about that. I think it's the best card game design I've ever done.
Wow,
great.
I'm doing a bunch of stuff I can't talk about. So I'm doing a game with AEG, a big game that they'll be announcing hopefully in a few weeks. Hopefully. I can only describe it as the most ambitious game I've ever done in the fantasy genre.
Wow.
I'm doing a gigantic, huge, $100 big box game with tons and tons of miniatures with Cool Mini or Not. That's but it's a big, brutal, violent game with but it's a $100 box, but it's only going to take 60 minutes to play, and you can play up to 12 players.
Wow, you don't have to say anything else. That's just silence. That's so awesome.
Okay. We're actually going to be kickstarting that with Cool Mini, but but it is intended for distribution. We're just kickstarting it for publicity and all that stuff.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Don't always look for the new Quarriors expansions.
And
all right.
New Warriors.
You bet.
Tom. Oh, Richard. Sorry.
We can swap if you like.
No.
Listen to what Tom's got to say.
All the way from across the ocean, Mr. Richard Brees.
That's right. So I was following the meeples across. They set sail on the Keyflower.
Excellent.
The pond, and I thought I'd better check what they're doing. So I've come along and kept an eye on them.
What do you think of the reception to your new game?
I was very pleased. I was obviously at Essen, which I am for most of the releases, and there's a German games magazine called Fair Play who have a stand at Essen, and the customers or the gamers put their votes on at the Fair Play stand, and we finished top of the ratings for the show. So it was the top rated game at Essen, which made a huge difference as far as the subsequent responses to the games. It generated a lot of interest.
Excellent.
Why is key in all the games?
The key to that, the very first, this is a long story, but the short version is...
Good, because you're only done a minute.
Keywood Chivis, who may be a name familiar to some of us, is an American gamer. I met him 1981 at Essen, and we played a game together on the Hans and Gluck stand. And I needed a name for my game, and I was looking for someone that sort of was a sort of the overlord of a land, and he was someone that came over as
It's just a really good name.
And he also had a very unusual name, and it just sort of clicked. And fortunately, the key wood fitted in with the style of the game. It was set in a sort of a forest of wood. But subsequent to that, there was it sort of lent itself to Keydom, which was Keywood was in the Keydom, and then Keytown, and it's
fantastic.
That worked. What's the distribution like for Keyflower right now? How available is the game?
I shipped a few extra copies to deal with the pre-orders to the UK. So I do have a few copies of what I'd call the first edition in the UK. There was this game has been also distributed by Hoch, which is one of the German companies. Because of the reception to the game, they had sold out their copies at Essen. So
more coming?
Demand for a second edition. I think that will probably happen in the spring.
Excellent.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to take up Tom's time.
Thank you.
Howdy.
All right, and you, sir, are?
I am Tom Lehmann.
Known for what?
I've done about 25 games over the last 20 years. So, but Race for the Galaxy is probably the one I'm the best known for.
It's like movies, on an evening talk show, and they casually mention their movie, and everyone
casually.
Yeah.
Race for the Galaxy. What's your favorite game that you designed that you like the best?
I'm like many people, it's whatever I'm currently working on, or when I play a game, even an old game, if the players get it, then that's suddenly my favorite child, But I like them all, actually.
Now, you've been coming to this convention for several years, right?
I did not make it here last year, but I've been here 3 of the last 4 years. And I was very impressed by the new dates, by the new organization. I think it's definitely grown up. As someone else said, I think it's now a solid convention on the circuit, but it's becoming more business at least for a designer. I've got to play one game so far that wasn't business related. I've been demoing lots of games to publishers, and I can tell that this is becoming like Essen and like The Gathering for me.
Oh, good. Well, that is interesting. I've been seeing a lot of demos been around. Well.
The one game that I did play that I liked was one that you just mentioned a few while ago. It was the Starry Ants game.
Yeah, I like it.
I thought that was quite nice, and there was more to explore in it.
All right, well, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Tom.
Oh, you next. Yes, sir. We also learned today that meomology is the study of ants.
Meomology, yes. We learned lots of things in that game.
Hello. It's an educational. All right, well, you have your own show on in like an hour or so, but 2 minutes on ours, sir. Introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Hey, my name is Boyan Dakovic. I'm a producer on Tabletop, and I'm here pimping the show.
All right, yes, that's a somewhat popular show.
Somewhat. We were like, Wheaton!
Okay, so was it your idea for the show? Tell us. I mean, you're going to talk about this. You have a minute, so just tell us a little bit, I guess.
basically, Google approached Felicia. Felicia asked Will, what would you do if you had your own channel? Will said, I'd hang out and play games with my friends. And Will called me after that and said, can we make this happen? And I was like, yeah, we're going to do this, and it's going to be awesome. So,
all right. So, do we know that there's going to be more coming?
Officially, we haven't heard word back from Google, but I'm 95% confident that it's a yes. They spent a lot of time and effort on us at San Diego Comic-Con. They gutted a warehouse. They featured 4 YouTube channels. Geek and Sundry is one of them, so that was awesome. And I talked to them yesterday and the day before, and we'll get final word tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but next week. So signs are positive.
So if you could do anything with Season 2 differently, what would you try and do?
There's a couple things we're going to do with the mix. Change up some of the format. Maybe introduce some more types of games. Maybe kids games. Maybe some 2-player games. Maybe some other things that we can't really, we're still working on it. But essentially, it's still going to be the same show. Good way to introduce gamers, new players into the gaming community. And I hope you guys support us.
All right, and what time is your show on tonight?
My panel's at 6:30 right after this, so if you guys want to hang out, I have a sneak peek of the Alhambra episode. So if you want to watch that and ask questions about tabletop, I'll be here.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. And it's always good I really appreciate the tabletop because it's the exposure it's brought has brought exposure to the whole hobby as a whole,
Sure.
and that's very exciting. All right, sir, and you are?
I'm Dan Yarrington with Game Salute.
All right, and what do you think of this convention as opposed to all the other ones you've been to? 700 of them.
I think it is. It's a little longer than I thought it would be, and that gives me a good opportunity. I thought I'd have a lot less time to play games, and it seems like these next couple days I may actually be able to play games. So that's good. But yeah, it's my first time here, and it's been a blast. And I guess it's an improved venue, but to me it just looks like a good time. So
tell us a little bit about some new stuff from Game Salute.
Sure. So
might be on Kickstarter, whatever.
It's a few games. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, Game Salute people might know us for some of the independent publishing studios that we help out. Folks like Clever Mojo Games that do Alien Frontiers. Folks like Dice Hate Me Games that do Viva Java and Carnival and Great Heartland Hall and Company. In addition to supporting publishing studios like that, we're actually supporting design studios, and so we're actually publishing games now. Things like Ruse, Pixel Lincoln, a little game you might know called Nothing Personal by Dice Tower Designs. So yeah, that's up on Kickstarter now for another 5 days. So you have a chance to pledge if you're listening to this. So go ahead and check that out. But yeah, it's been a great time. We've got 8 titles coming out in first quarter and a whole bunch of new ones after that. So it's been very busy, and we're working with lots of awesome people.
All right. Wow, you ended right on time, so you're done. All right, next, Sean. All right. Sean, we're just glad that Sean can talk today because yesterday was not a good day, was it?
No, it was not.
Oh,
he's still a little froggy today.
I was actually going to do like some pantomime, or something. But,
all right, well, Sean, what company?
The best voice I can.
I should have you do a promo for the Nothing Personal, but all right.
Sean is with Griffin Games, and you've been
Eagle Games.
And Griffin and Eagle, and you've been demoing all day long, which is part of what has knocked out your voice at the moment.
Laryngitis due to demoing, but I did it for the games.
But he still came on. He still came on our show. Thank you.
I figured I could muster up enough for 2 minutes, right?
Oh, you're down to 1 minute and 15, so you're okay. Okay, is there any game that you wanted to mention that people should check out? Something new?
Yeah, we're debuting I'm the Boss of the Card Game, and what's unique about the game is it's a brand new design for Sid Saxon, who's been dead for about 12 years now. So a lot of people say, well, how in the world does that happen? And what actually happened is we went to a museum where a lot of his original prototypes were donated. And in looking through his old journals, he kept daily journals for about 25 years of his life. And looking through those journals, we were able to actually find references to this game that he had called Piece of the Action. And been going in the archives and looking at his prototypes, we realized this was his earliest version of I'm the Boss, the board game.
Huh.
And we thought, wow, if we knew what his finished product was and we know what he started with, we could turn this into a card game. And with very, very minimal touching to the game, we were able to basically recreate an original Saxon game.
Are there other possibly hidden games that might come in the future that you found in the journals?
We found lots of games.
All right.
We'll be doing lots of things from Saxon, but it debuts here at the show, so I have them downstairs in limited quantity, and this is the first time you can buy it anywhere.
All right, well, rest your voice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
If you're listening to the show, we always like to thank Fun Again for supporting our show and hosting our show on their site. And our next guest is...
Hi, I'm Nick Minger from Fun Again Games.
Aha!
And I brought a fake mustache because nothing's funnier than a visual bit in an audio format.
No, we're on film.
Oh, never mind. It's not funny anymore.
All right, well, what do we want to talk about? Why come to Board Game Geek Con when you're online?
Well, why come when you're online?
Well, I mean...
Oh, just why come in general?
Aren't you just a faceless website?
That's right.
True. We are. I'm a faceless corporate entity. I flew in today on the helicopter from the penthouse level.
Excellent.
And either that or I road coach by American through LAX like everybody
As an
else.
aside, afterwards, you should talk to him. We don't want to put this on the show, and ask him what he would do if he was a millionaire. It's entertaining.
We're here. We go to Essen and get a bunch of games for people and bring them back here and hopefully provide them for the folks that can't go to Essen as part of their job or don't have lots of vacation and lots of money to spend all their personal time over there. So that's what we do, and we're here and bringing lots of games to everybody.
So you have lots of different games here. Which one have you seen has really been popular? People been picking up?
We have sold a lot of seasons. A lot. We have a lot more, but that probably won't last the whole rest of the weekend.
So. Oh, people are running out now.
It might be.
You got 13 minutes. So have you got to play any games?
No.
Really?
No. I work all day, then I go out to eat, then I go back to my room and work because Christmas starts in next week, and we got to get ready for that. So.
All right. Well, we will.
Maybe this weekend I'll get to play some games.
So where can we find you? Is there a website maybe that we could track you down?
I think it's funagain.com. Just like it ends FUNAGAIN.
The world's best board game source.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Do we got anyone here from Geek Chic? No? All right.
Is their mustache?
All right, well, we'll let him move on. Bobby Stickel. There you are. Oh, good. We'll give you an extra minute.
Good. All right. Got some visual props.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was awesome, by the way.
Hi.
And your name is?
I'm Bobby Stickel from Passport Game Studios. And we're a new publishing and importing company. And we're located out of the Pacific Northwest. And we just got back from Essen, and we brought some new games, and we announced some new deals here at the show. We wanted to wait and announce them here. So there's a cool little game called Kahlua that we just announced, and a new one just yesterday called Tokaido. This is from Antoine Bauza, who made Seven Wonders. And this game isn't available yet, but our booth has been slammed, and everybody wants to buy this. It's got about 4 weeks to go, so it's not quite available yet. But... we thought we'd do something for you. We have the only unopened copy that's available, along with some other games that we brought and some other cool prizes from Passport Game Studios. And we thought we would put all this together in a prize package and have a silent auction at our booth for the rest of this con. And we'd like to donate all the proceeds to the Jack Bassett Memorial Fund.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we're happy to be here. We're loving it.
So,
where can we find you if we're looking for Tokaido in the near future?
Look for the big Nautilus logo at booth 319.
Or people are listening who can't go to the show and are crying.
If you're not here, and we're sorry to hear that, PassportGameStudios.com. Check out our Facebook page or our website for all the new stuff that we have yet to announce.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
No, Zev. All right. Well, I guess Z-Man's Games is the last name in gaming. All right. We will jump. All right, I'll try one more time. Is anyone here from Cool Mini? Geek Chic? Okay, well, we're only at 3 no-shows. That's not bad.
Bueller.
Rich, you're next, sir.
Bueller.
All right. Well, this one is exciting for me.
Well, we have one of the guests of honor here at Board Game Geek Con, Mr. Rich Sommer.
Yay.
Now,
Yay,
Now, we have an announcement here, and I thought Eric didn't know about it, but it was actually up to Eric. So I'm going to drop out of this one and let you guys talk about what's going on here with this
Well, we should probably let Rich talk about this. You have an announcement of a project that you're working on.
Yeah. Well, I'll preface by saying that I've been Summoner Wars is one of my favorite games of the last few years, and so I've gotten to know Plaid Hat Games and Colby Dauch a little bit, and he has they have a brand new game, Mice and Mystics, which comes out, which has a heavy story component and with a lot of sort of read at the table narration. And Colby and I had been for the last few months talking about a way that maybe I could record the story components, and then we would sell them on the website as sort of an add-on for the game. We ran into myriad union troubles, namely that there's no category for board game voice. So we're going to talk
Eric
to some
runs
people.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then Eric approached us that he clearly has been approached a number of times for his dulcet tones by people who want him to record the story as well. And he had thought about doing it for the Jack Vassal auction, and we decided to kind of combine the ideas. So I last week went into a studio and recorded all of the text from Mice and Mystics, and it will be available, I believe, this evening, starting at 7 p.m. or so at Plaid Hat
Eastern
Games.
Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. At PlaidHatGames.com for download, and all the proceeds from here until forever will go to the Jack Vassal Fund.
All right. And also, you know, it's probably too late by the time the show goes out because the auction's ended. But I mean, it really was a great auction, and you put up some of the most interesting things there. I was very excited.
I really, I had sort of a passing idea. I've played games before with Jorge Garcia, who was Hurley on Lost, and have spoken with Simon Helberg, who plays Wolowitz on Big Bang Theory, about games a number of times, and the two of them expressed interest in helping out with the Jack Vassal Fund. So I think it stands right now at $1,250 for a game night with the three of us, and we're really very excited to be able to contribute to the fund, and we're fans of Tom's and fans of the site, and of course fans of the fund and the whole idea behind it. So glad that we could help out with it.
Right, and go ahead.
Well, what have you been playing here that you've been particularly excited about?
I played the game which has the unpronounceable name, Tzolk'in. Tzolk'in, which I totally loved. Just played Article 27 for the first time from Stronghold. Loved that. A little negotiation game. I'm a big fan of negotiation games. Just whenever you have a chance to BS your way through something, I'm a fan. So that one was a big hit with us, and just morales. We're kind of making the rounds, whatever's out there.
All right. Well,
let's talk about your professional career. What's new for Mad Men? What's coming up?
We are just today, I missed the read-through for episode 3 because I'm here, which this is the first time I've missed a read-through in the entire run of the show, so I am happy to have it be for this event. If I'm going to miss for anything. So yeah, we just started, we'll start on Monday shooting episode 3. We'll shoot through maybe April or so, and the show should be back on early 2013.
all right. Well, thank you very much for everything. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to let Zev cut in here. All right. This is exciting. And I'm really, if any of you bid on that auction or put anything up on it, or if you're listening and you did so, a really big thank you for me. All right, sir.
How you doing?
Tell us who you are and why you're here.
I'm Zev Shlasinger, and I'm here to play games.
Not anything else?
No, nothing else.
Tell us what's new from the last name in gaming.
We have a lot of new products, stuff we brought back from Essen, Clash of Cultures, Ginkopolis, Palace of Carrera, a few other games.
Have you seen any of them been getting more buzz than any other one?
Yeah, I think something like Ginkopolis. I think the shorter games get more buzz, like something like Clash of Cultures. People like it, but it takes about 2-3 hours to play or so. So there's not.
Oh, it looks amazing though. I can't wait to get my hands on one.
Oh yeah, I love the pieces in it.
So what's your favorite game you played that doesn't start with Z, and its publishers?
You know what? I almost never turned down a game of Teach You. So
really,
there you go. That's my.
So now
I played that last night till about 1:30 in the morning.
I haven't seen many people playing Teach You.
I've seen a few. Yeah, there's
every tournament.
You know what? You have to go to the smaller rooms. A lot of people are in the quieter areas.
Yeah, we corral them off. We don't want them in the general populace.
It might spread.
Yeah, that's true.
So what do you think about BGG.con this year as opposed to previous years?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, still, a lot of people are gaming. Everyone seems happy, and it's a great show.
Do you feel like you can breathe more here as opposed to the bigger conventions and such?
Yeah, I guess I don't feel as as busy and as a lot of people approaching me and stuff like that, or a lot of things going around me, making it feel very busy. So it seems a little more laid back. Yeah.
And if you ever get a chance to play a game with him, he's one of my most favorite game opponents that there is. He's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And so we died in Dungeon Quest. I'll never forget that. Cursing that game all the way down to the grave. All right. Well, thank you very much, sir, for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Our next guest gets 30 seconds. So 5 have already...
Okay.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stephen Buonocore, someone you've never heard from before.
Now listen, I heard about this promo card for Core Worlds.
Yes, what about that promo card?
That's a Buon Core World?
The Buono Core World. Yes.
So lame.
That's
so lame. That's so lame.
Andrew Parks actually thought of it. Okay, I thought of it, yes. But Andrew approves everything in the game, so it is fun. I get to sign my name on a card. It's I feel like a designer, too, not only just a publisher.
So what's the new hotness?
Well, Space Cadets by Jeff Engelstein has been doing amazing here. At Essen, it did great. It's doing great here. The booth is swamped with people trying to get to play it. And CO2 has been played tremendously the entire weekend as well, in Essen as well. So that's the biggest stuff right now. Article 27 that Rich mentioned is also doing very well for us. So those are the biggest ones, I think, right here right now that are getting a really good buzz.
You get a chance to play King of Tokyo at all?
I have played.
And you did well, right?
Did we play that? I'm not trying to remember if we played that.
It was forgettable.
Tom, you're basically forgettable, yes.
Wow.
That's right. So, look for my reviews of his game soon. No, we played King of Tokyo with the new expansion. A lot of fun. I called it the Publisher Demolition Game. I think you were out in maybe 30 seconds.
No, I didn't play this with you. Wait a minute.
Well, that's right. You won it.
I wasn't there. I don't remember it.
You know how when you swing at a baseball and you imagine someone you don't like? It's just I put you in the people. All right, you got 10 seconds.
I got 10 seconds. Very quickly, I actually got asked by somebody who was working for me in Essen, hey, what's up with you and Vassal? I mean, is this a problem between you? No, it's all about a joke, and we got along a year. We met a year and a half ago at Origins, and
that's right. We had back-to-back booths,
and from that moment on, it was like hate at first sight. It was just awesome.
All right.
So, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're getting close to the end. Mr. Morgan, are you here? No, I even reminded him like an hour ago. All right, well, maybe we'll give him a chance. We'll jump ahead to Matthew Mutin, the most hated man on the internet.
That's not really the kind of image I'm trying to...
Yeah. So Matthew, what people may know you as your username on Board Game Geek, which is...
Octavian.
All right. Yes. Well, what's funny is when you see people's... little badge thingamabobbers or icons, that's what you think of them as, and when you meet them, you're like, oh, you're 50 years older than I thought, 20 years younger, you're a woman or a man,
You're not a symbol floating in a star field.
No.
But he looks so kind and gentle in real life.
I'm a puffball.
So, if you don't know, Matthew does a lot of the customer service, customer-facing stuff at Board Game Geek.
Yeah, I have a lot of very positive experiences with users, and I have a lot of very negative experiences with users.
But here it's mostly positive.
Here
right?
it's all positive.
No one comes up and takes a swing at you?
No, that was what I was worried about actually during the first few BGG cons, that I'd find out someone was someone that I'd banned or something like that, and I'd leave with bruises. But no, people come up with me in cookies instead of taking swings at me, which is even better.
The people who you ban have made you cookies?
No. The people that I've helped have made me cookies.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So what's the best story of you helping out somebody who really needed it?
Well, just recently, we have a BGG Secret Santa going on, right? And I got a geek mail from someone saying that I work for the Defense Department and I have very high security clearances, and I just got someone from a communist nation, and I will lose my security clearances if I send them anything. So,
wow.
So I know that all the matches have made, but please, can you give me someone else?
And you helped them.
Well, fortunately, at the same time, I got a geek mail from someone who was disappointed that the person they received had a very Spartan profile, like no games rated, just a very small wish list. But they happened to be from a non-communist country in a non-Russian state. So they were more than thrilled to swap, so I was able to do that for them.
All right.
Excellent.
So, well, thank you. Now you know he's so nice. You guys can come up and say hi to him, and we appreciate what you do.
Oh, thank you very much, Tom.
All right.
Thanks, Matthew.
Morgan is here. All right, good job. That's great. You always should show up 2 minutes early.
You're still pounding the table, Tom.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, Sarah, and your name is?
Morgan Dontanville.
And who are you here with?
Mayfair Games.
So tell us a little about what's up and what's hot.
With Mayfair Games, well, we have a few new products coming out right now that are really exciting. The new Martin Wallace Airplanes is a pretty great title. I'm really excited about it. It's a lot of fun. It's right up my alley, really, because it's a really straightforward connection game with a lot of small little actions that you can manipulate your position with and jockey against other people, and it has a little bit of screwage, which I enjoy, but not too much so that you know, it's enough to put your head in your hands, but not enough that you want to scratch your eyeballs out.
That's the sweet spot right there.
What about you I know you've designed games in the past. You got anything you're working on?
Yeah, I have a couple games coming out. One is actually with Mayfair, which is not surprising. It's called Heroes of Midgard, and it's basically, I was inspired by 3 games, really. One is Titan, and the other is Kings and Things, and then the other is Dominion. So
that's okay.
Well, conceptually, it's one of those things where and honestly, also Thunderstone a little bit. One of the things I like is about all those things are monsters and the mythos behind it, but then not just I try to do a Teutonic theme, so it's a lot of mythology and it's a lot of like historic folklore that's incorporated with monsters you don't normally see. So it's a lot of like Eastern European, like Baba Yaga and stuff like that. So. And really, you're like a Viking man and a Viking woman, and you're running around, and you're trying to appease the gods, and you have a deck of cards that you cycle through, and you use them to run around and kind of punch each other in the face. And then if you have power left over, you use it to recruit monsters in areas that you've conquered, and then the monsters kind of cycle through at different rates, and then you end up using those monsters to kind of punch each other in the face in different ways. And one of the things I really enjoy about the design is that you could create a deck, and you're building up and building up and building up, but in order to win the game, you have to appease gods. In order to appease gods, you have to destroy your deck, and you have to destroy your position on the board. So as the game progresses, you have to figure out ways to manage how to hurt yourself while other people are also trying to hurt you as well. So.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Is there anyone in the room who I asked to be on here who hasn't come up yet? Oh, good. All right. Finally.
Last but not least,
we have double. We need another chair. So. Okay. All right, we have the folks who run this thing. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Hello, everybody. My name's Aldi.
All right.
This is Jeff Anderson.
I'm Jeff.
So let's talk to Jeff first. Jeff, you're the man in charge of this whole thing, right?
Well, no one man could run this show. I've got a lot of staff to help out, a lot of volunteers, but the buck does have to stop somewhere. He signs the checks, but I usually have to deal with all the details.
So what's been the biggest hurdle to moving to this new location?
Oh, boy. It's when you increase, I said at the outset last year that we were not going to double last year, the attendance we had. I knew that we could in this space. So we only increased by 75%. And so when you go from 1,200 people to 2,100 people, there's a lot to think through. But as I was saying, I can't think of anything I hadn't thought of yet. So it's been great. The biggest challenge is probably just making sure everybody has enough fun.
What's been the biggest pleasant surprise of the bigger size?
It's still, for me, the feel of the show hasn't changed at all. It still feels like It's a weekend gaming convention with your friends, a weekend game party with your friends. It's just, you happen to have 2,000 friends and the weekend lasts 5 days.
My kind of weekend.
Well, what do you think? Seeing it come from such a small convention to such a,
It's totally awesome. I love it. And obviously, I can't do it without these guys, and the whole team is like. I'm very lucky in that I did not really have to do any of the hard work.
How many people are on staff running this thing?
Well, we've always had a core committee of we run this show up to now with 4 to 6 people all the time. But this year, one of the biggest changes we made, and the thing that has really made the show work, is Team Geek.
Yeah.
We have our core committee in the gold jerseys, but we've got 20 or 30 people that are running around in the Team Geek jersey. Aldi is showing off here, that are just super volunteers. They've helped us out in the past, but now they're official. They're really representing the show. They're running the errands. They're helping out in any which way, and that has just, without them, there's no way we could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you think we will double this number next year? Are we at 42?
No.
I think we're back to being limited by space again. But I like the size, and it could grow a little more. I think it's not too crowded, and we could have a few more people next year.
All right, let's talk games. Anything you played? I mean, Ted, have you been able to play anything?
My goal is to always play one game a show, and I almost always make it.
Almost.
I played a game of Tichu last night at about 11, and I played a few rounds of Werewolf. So that's been fun. Other than that, I almost never get time to play a game. I'm always putting out 3 fires at once. But
all right, what about you, sir?
I played Love Letter.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I really like Love Letter, and I also like Robinson Crusoe. I got to play that last night.
Did you guys survive?
We did, but we cheated.
Oh,
I don't like
the way to do it.
All right. Well, anything you guys want to say before we end the show? Pretty much.
We're just real grateful y'all came. We're grateful for you, Tom,
Thanks,
for
Tom,
coming.
very much for doing this.
And all of our other special guests.
Yeah,
Well, a big hand for them for really putting on a really great convention.
And a big thank you to everyone in this room for coming to see this.
That's right. I thought we'd have like 20 people. This is exciting.
Fantastic.
You had a full boat.
And thank you, everyone. Kept it under 2 minutes mostly, and it was good. And we thank you to just all the folks on the show. That's fun.
You bet. This has been great.
We actually will hopefully have this up on video so you can see some of the people and the things, and you can find we've been putting pictures of this up at GameSaloonNews.com of the convention. You will do another in our next show. We'll talk a little bit more about it. We don't want to get too much into it, but we'll talk mostly about the games that we played or didn't play.
Yep.
And anything else we need to say?
I think we should get out of here.
Well, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Eric Sommer.
And you've been listening to the Dice Tower. We can do a quick thing.
Is anyone from Cool Mini or not here?
All right, don't forget, 10 o'clock.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Sommer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.